So there's a technique I want to talk about that I really haven't shown on my channel before. Collision shops don't really do this because you don't really have the time. But it's real common in the high-end shops, high-end paint jobs. You block your panel gaps with your panels, put together. Now, some of y'all may have already thought about that, maybe asking yourselves why I haven't already done that. And I wanted to block this fender, or this door had so much work on it, I wanted to block it as a unit, by itself on a stand where I could work on it, get to it, all that good stuff. The fender, I could have done the fender on the truck, but I went ahead and I had it off after I had sandblasted it and everything. I just went ahead and blocked it, or worked it, and got it primed, on the stand. But now I have put the door and the fender on the truck in their correct location. I went through the trouble of trying to adjust the gaps. They're not perfect, but they're really good. They're really close. So I'm going to block across my gaps here and block the fender and the door at the same time, and pretty much try to get these gaps, panel alignment perfect. They're not going to be perfect, and I'm not striving for perfect. If I wanted them absolutely perfect, I basically have to wipe my filler across both panels at the same time, block them as a unit, and then split the opening back up. And on a high-end paint job, that's what a lot of shops do. They wipe filler all the way across. Now that does mean they're building some of their panel edges with filler, and I don't like doing that. Now if you're building a trailer queen and never gets driven on the road, across potholes and bumps and stuff, you can probably get away with that. But I just hate building the edges out of filler because you're just asking for trouble to pop an edge off one day, either because it just turns loose and pops off, or you hit it with something, or you drive the car over a pothole. It's just asking for trouble. I don't like to do it. So I'm getting my panel edges. I spent many hours basically trying to get my panel edges lined up. And again, I hate to use the word perfect because in my mind you never really get perfection. You just try to get as close as you can get to it. Anyway, I spent many an hour trying to get these panels as perfect as I could, and then do my body work and then block it from there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to block my panels, as I said, across with my panels already on. Now my door has been blocked with 180 already twice, so it's really straight with itself. The fender, this is the first priming for the fender, so it hasn't been blocked at all in primer, just the filler. And I tried to set my camera up here, and there's no spot I got a good place to set this up, so my back's gonna be to the camera one way or the other, so I just can't help it. Another trick, let me mention right quick, that kind of helps this process. And I saw this on another guy's channel, and I don't remember who it was, or I'd give him credit. I had intended to put my door rubbers in the truck. I had intended to put the door rubbers in the truck to make the doors shut in their correct final position. But then you got to worry about keeping your door rubbers clean. If I primed in here, they'd be in there getting primer, and it'd be a mess. And I've done it before. It's a lot of trouble to do it. So the way this guy does it, he uses filler, Bondo, body filler, and Bondo's I hate to use that word. He uses body filler and fillers up the gaps and holds the door in place. So I've got a section here. There's a spot down here where you can't see to lock this door into place. Then when I get done, I got to come back and cut it loose, and of course sand all the extra filler off, which is kind of a pain. I mean, this door has been finish blocked on the back, but I got to work the rear cowl anyway, so. I mean, I could have done all this a long time ago, but as I said, I did it the way I did it. That's the way I did it. So again, this is block sanding, so I'm not really going to sit here and try to narrate too much, but I'm just going to block across the panel gaps. You can watch me do it. As I said, I'm not going to get these gaps perfect, but I'm going to try to get them as perfect as I can, as close to perfect as I can. Let me see, can you see? So anyway, I guess sit back and enjoy me doing some more sanding. Yeah, right. I am blocking with 180, by the way. I can see this perfectly well without guide coat, but I realize you guys cannot. So here we go. So my initial cut here You can see everywhere there's guide coat, it's a little low. Now I actually think I've got my fender in a little bit too far, so I'm going to shim out a little bit on this body shim up here. Fender out a little bit. That'll take care of, I think, this. You can see where we're just, you know, the panels come together and then the nose dive, and that's factory panels pretty much all do that. But I've got room here to block still. We got a little bit low here and then a little bit high here, and then my panel that I haven't really blocked on the crease yet. So we are already probably, I don't know, 75% there. I could block this with the 80 grit, it'd be faster. Alright, we're down to about all I can do. We're starting to hit a little high spot in the sheet metal of the door right there. Fender's right here. There's only a small amount of guide coat right here on the edge of the door, so it's a very, very small roll in. And again, all factory panels have that pretty much. But we are way straighter than we were across the gap. So what I'm going to do now is go back and hit it with some 180. Feather it down a little, or smooth it down a little bit, and then move down to the bottom side of the panel. Finish the bottom. You're probably not going to be able to see this, so you know what blocking looks like. So if I can't show it to you, I'll just bring it back when I get it finished. I'm going to switch back to 80 again. Be a little faster. My door is in a little bit at the bottom. So I'm going to take my spoon and just gradually work it out and hope I don't crack the filler. These are tiny, tiny movements. You move it much, you're going to crack the filler. You're going to grind it out and start over. This is a combination of bending the door just a little and maybe the fender just a little. And I'm doing this ever so slightly because I do not want to crack my filler. And I'm nitpicking, by the way, but I can't help it. That helped that corner. Now we gotta be here. We gotta be careful here. We can't undercut this. This is where I welded that patch in, and it's you know, it's basically, it's not high, but it's not low. It's right in plane, so we can't undercut right there. Gotta be real careful. But if I do it right, I'll block it right in, and it'll be just right. I know I'm not putting guide coat on there, but you guys really can't see. I know I can tell what I'm doing. There's enough guide coat in there that I can see what I'm doing, so just bear with me. I gotta be careful. This spot's gonna get high real fast. I'm close to it now. It's still okay, but it's getting worrisome really quickly. You can't really call yourself a body man. Wait, you can't really call yourself a body man if you haven't spent hours hunched over the side of a car block sanding. It's like a rite of passage or something. That area's got away from me a little bit. What I mean by that is this is not really high, but it's not really low. It's just kind of right in the where it needs to be, but yet it's done pushed itself up a little bit and made itself a little high. Very, very slightly. But man, I'm gonna tap it down just a tiny amount with my pit camera, just a tiny little tap. So I want to bring it down just enough that primer will fill it. I'm not talking about no bunch, not, you know, thousandths maybe. Just great, just gentle little hits. That's something you have to learn with practice. I can't teach you how to do that. You just got to do it and learn it. I didn't move it much. Now I didn't want to move it much. Alright, I'll grab the camera and show you what we got. Alright, let me see if I can get down here. So here's what we got. I sanded all the guide coat off. I had a small little bit left right here, which means there's a tiny little roll of a low spot right here, but it's very insignificant. The only real places I have left that have guide coat is a little right there, which means that's a little low, and we got this little low right here in the fender that I can feel. I can feel that low. Now I was standing in the door to get to work it down, and I kind of gave up. But the more I look at it now, I can probably sand on that some more. But I don't want to sand a big crease in my door, in that filler. So I'll probably I'll probably off camera sand some more right here. We've got some guide coat left right here, where this edge right here is rolled in just a tiny amount. Very, very slight. The fender itself looks good, except like I said, this little area right here and right here. So I think I'm going to break one of my rules and wipe just a small coating of glazing putty right here. It won't build the edge out more than maybe a 64th. That is barely low. In fact, I could just sand it out and not worry about it. But I'm nitpicking and I can't stop it and I can't help it. So I'm going to put a little bit of glaze right here. And I think instead of trying to keep on sanding this down, I'm going to put a little glaze in this area right here and even these out. But considering how much work I did to that door, I mean, I built that door, basically rebuilt it from scratch. And the fender, I adjusted the fender a fair amount too to get it to fit. It fits really well. I'm happy with it. It's not perfect, and I was never setting out to get it perfect. I want it to be perfect, but oh, all the extra hours that would take is just, you just don't understand, or maybe you do. So I'm going to go off camera, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little glaze here and finish that up. And then I'm not going to sit there and make you watch me do that. So you've already watched me work the panel edges. These panel edges now, these gaps, these panel, you know, the fitment of the panel here is, again, I don't want to use the perfect word because I hate using that word. But they're as good as I'm going to get on this truck without spending many, many more hours that I'm just not going to spend. This is not a show truck. This is not a trailer queen. I'm going to drive this truck. It's in better shape than it was the day it rolled off the factory as far as panel gaps goes. That's for damn sure. So that's fine with me. So I will, like I said, finish those areas off camera. I'll come back and I'll probably show it to you before I prime it. We're going to prime it again. I'm going to long block it with 320. And at that point, I'm going to call this gap done. Then all we got to do is the other door, the rears, the cowl panel, the hood. It goes on and on and on. Anyhow, that's it for now. I'll bring you back when I got something I want to show you. Bye. I did it again. I meant to cut the camera on and film me shooting the primer, and I forgot. That's just the first coat. We got one more to go. I have blocked the entire fender as well. So right now I'm priming the area where I want to block on the gaps. And in the front of the fender had a little bit of touch up I had to do. So if I have enough primer, I'll prime the entire fender. But I am going to put a second coat on the area where I blocked it down first, right here. So I'm letting this dry, obviously. So when it flashes off, we'll come back and put the second coat on. And this time I'll do my best to remember to push the little button. Alright, I remembered. Coat number 2. It's primed in, so all just got to dry. So I guess I'll come back when we block it again. So I will see you then tomorrow, whenever it winds up being. Alright, bye for now. Alright, that's the second coat of primer. Now I'm going to long block it with 320 and see how it looks. So I'll just let the camera run and go from there. You can already see that we got a little bit of load right here in the edge of the panels, and I kind of figured that was going to happen. what you're seeing here really is very minor. I mean, it's not perfect. There's no doubt about it. Anyway, we'll just keep blocking. Alright, I think because I am consistently low along the whole fender edge right here, I'm going to try add one little bit of shim up here. See what that does. That might actually bring me in clean. This again is so close, so if I had to live with this, I would get out of the light. But man, it's very close. Let's see what I got for shims here. So I had a 16th and a 32nd shim right there. That man, that is just wow. I'm going to do a 16th, a 32nd, and a 64th, which are the three shim thicknesses I have. Let's see what that will do. I'll take this truck back apart one of these years and reassemble it for the final time. That 64th shim could probably stay out. But for trying to get my blocking in line, I'm going to go ahead and see what happens. See if it'll be too much or if it'll be just right. Alright, let me run a block across this now. Let me put some more guide coat on it so I can see what I'm doing. That actually brought the fender out a little bit too proud, so that you can see how close we actually are here. It's extremely close. I said I wasn't going to cut through anymore, and I'm doing it again. So, oh well. Pretty much block this as good as I'm going to be able to get it with the long block. Got it. Let me, there's a little low. Let me see if you can see. Little low spot right there. and then a little bit around the crease right there. But the gaps are 95% flat. They are really good. So I'm going to switch now to my short block and block the last few areas I need to get to. I didn't want to cut down to the filler again, but I did. I should have long blocked it to start with. Well, I did the short block first, and it was a mistake. I should have used the long block. So I probably caused myself an extra block in here and an extra priming, which I should have known better. I just wasn't thinking. It happens. But anyway, so I'm going to finish blocking what little bit areas I got left here I want to block down, and then I'll be able to prime it again. And we'll have to block it again. Yay. Alright, that's pretty much it. I don't know if I showed it last night or not, blocking with 180. I'm going to take a paint paddle here with just one wrap of 320 and work my door gaps, the edges. Now I'll be able to do this better when the doors are back off the vehicle, but still don't want to have the primer just building up and building up here from overspray. You want to keep that under control. And especially this high build primer, it'll just keep building up and building up. You'll build up a giant coat of primer here that eventually one day will chip and pop off. And you don't want that at all. Plus you want to keep the edges, you know, sand the edges, get them straight, keep them smooth. So all that needs to be blocked as well. Like I said before, you need to block everything. Want a nice, not rounded over, but a nice, you know, a nice gentle panel edge. You know what panel edges look like. So that's what you want it to look like after you're done. Alright, I know I said I wanted to let this be the last blocking, but I messed up and should have long blocked it the first time. So that's why I got a little couple of high spots in my filler that showed up. So I'm going to have to prime it one more time and block it with 320 one more time. And hopefully that'll be the last straightening blocking that I call it. And then from that it's just disassembly one day and one final blocking when I block everything one last time right before I paint. I blocked the fender and the door one more time. You may be able to tell there's primer here. That's just where I shot some primer to cover up bare metal where I cut through again. I was doing my best not to cut through, and I still did it. There's some, they're not high spots. They're just areas here where you know, you cut through if you're not trying, and I did. I was trying to make damn sure I had these gaps as flat as I could get them, as straight as I could get them, and I have. So I'm real happy with how the fit is. So my next step here is to scuff this primer back down. It's not really blocking, just scuff it down, and I'll prime the entire fender and the door front, and I'll be done. Ready for the last block one day down the road, right before I prime it, or right before I paint it. The fender's had all the body work done. It's waiting for its last coat of primer. As I said, I'll do all that later. I'm in the process right now working on the other fender. I'm working on the back side, the same area on the other fender. Of course, it has different issues. It was bent. It wasn't a rust through patch like this side was. It was actually bent and pushed up and kind of crushed in. So I had to use some different techniques to straighten that side. So I wasn't going to make a video of it. I got about an hour in and I realized, you know what, I'm doing dent repair for the first time. Actually fixing dents, not, you know, rust and metal shaping. So I should probably go ahead and make the video. So that's what I'm doing. So that'll probably be my next video that comes out, will be the dent repair on that fender. So that's it for now. At some point I will be working the back of the cab, which you can't see. I've got to align the cab sheet metal to the doors. When I get the other fender finished in the same shape as this one, you know, I want to get the hood bolted back down and get it fitting better. It fits close. It's probably 80%. I want to try to tweak it some more. And I am going to be blocking, look at me doing the Sopranos. I am going to be blocking the other door and the fender as a unit, just like I did this side. And I may or may not film that. You've already seen it once. I'll see. So as I always say, thanks for being here. My channel growth has kind of fell off a little bit, and that's my fault. So trying to start posting on the regular again. So I'm trying to grow the channel, like I've been saying. So like I said, share it around with your buddies and your friends if you like what you're seeing, and you know, tell them about the channel. But anyway, that's it for now. So thanks for being here. Be sure to do all the YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, notification bell. Like I said, share it around. The C10 gang, the Street Rod gang, whoever, you know, share it around, tell them about it if you like it. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Y'all come back now, you hear? Bye-bye.